Some of you are refreshing gun store websites and watching the good stuff vanish before you can even hit add to cart. I'm seeing the same thing at local shops. The slim, high-capacity carry guns and the soft-shooting steel frames disappear, while the boring leftovers gather dust. That is not hype. That is the market in 2025 screaming that certain designs got it right. Every day, gun owners, concealed carriers, and home defense-minded families are chasing 9mm pistols with real-world perks, 17+1 capacity, optics-ready slides, controllable recoil, and grips that actually fit human hands. If you guess wrong right now, you waste money, trust marketing instead of track records, and maybe stake your safety on a pistol that is hard to shoot well when it counts. In this video, I am going to walk you through the specific categories that are clearing shelves and why they really matter for you. Alright, let us kick this list off with a heavy one. At number 10, the Walther PDP Steel Frame is what you buy when you are tired of plastic pistols jumping around under recoil. All that steel takes a normal 9mm carry load and turns it into a slow, controllable push. On a shot timer, the dot or irons barely leave the notch, and that makes fast doubles feel almost unfair compared to a lightweight gun. The grip is classic Walther, deep sculpting, aggressive but comfortable texture, and a factory trigger that feels more like a tuned part than something out of a cardboard box. It rewards a high, firm grip and good fundamentals, and it makes sloppy shooting very obvious in a way that helps you improve, instead of hiding your mistakes. Is it heavy for concealed carry? Absolutely. But as a home defense and range gun, it shines. Set it up with a dot and a light. Park it beside the bed. And you have a soft-shooting, confidence-inspiring pistol that serious shooters grab the minute one shows up in the case. Care more about performance than ounces. This one makes instant sense for serious shooters everywhere. Number 9 is the CZ Shadow 2 Compact, the gun that takes race gun attitude and squeezes it into something you might actually carry. If you have ever shot the full-size Shadow 2, you know the vibe already. Low-bore axis, heavy frame, smooth double action, crisp single action, and that planted feeling when you start hammering steel. The compact trims some length and weight, but it keeps the core personality. What jumps out when you pick it up is how natural it feels to point. The grip shape and checkering are dialed, so the gun sits deep in the hand and stays there when the slide starts cycling. The weight out front keeps the muzzle from popping, and the short reset lets you run fast splits without feeling like you are working hard. This is not a pocket pistol, and it is not cheap. It is for the shooter who already has the basic polymer carry gun and wants something with more refinement. One pistol that can cover concealed carry, occasional competition, and home defense without feeling compromised. That crossover role is exactly why the Shadow 2 Compact vanishes quickly whenever a gun shop gets a batch in. In the number 8 slot, the Shadow System's XR920P is what happens when someone looks at a Glock 17 and says, "Good start, but we can do better." You still get that duty-length grip and real capacity, but it is paired with a compact slide and a proprietary comp that takes the sting out of muzzle rise. The grip angle leans closer to a 1911, so a lot of shooters bring the gun up and find the sights waiting instead of hunting for them. Texture is grippy without being painful, and the undercut trigger guard lets you drive your hand high where it belongs. The back straps do more than change size. They tune how the gun points, so you can set it to match your natural presentation. The comp is the real hook. It locks on instead of threading on, so it works with many open-bottom Glock holsters and sidesteps some legal drama around threaded barrels. On the range, it keeps the gun flatter and makes fast recoil recovery feel easy for duty-style use, serious training, or home defense with a light and dot attached. The XR920P gives you a very complete package for modern armed citizens. At number 7, the Canik TTI Combat is where movie gun cool meets practical performance. Canik already had a reputation for great striker-fired triggers at friendly prices. Then Terran Tactical Innovations stepped in with slide cuts, tuning, and a quick detach comp. And suddenly you have a pistol that looks like a custom build without that painful invoice. The trigger is the star of the show. It is light, smooth, and predictable, which lets newer shooters level up quickly and lets experienced shooters push the pace. The comp up front keeps the muzzle from jumping around, so you can stay on the dot or irons through fast strings instead of chasing them every shot. It feels like cheating compared to a lot of stock pistols in the same price bracket. This is not a deep concealment piece for gym shorts and tank tops. Most people run the Canik TTI Combat as a home defense and range gun that can step into entry-level competition. With an optic, extra mags, and a case often included. It feels like a system straight from the store. That bundle value is exactly why they rarely hang around long once the case door opens. Number 6 is the Sig Sauer P365 AXG Legion, the grown-up version of the little pistol that kicked off the micro double-stack craze. The original P365 proved you could carry real capacity in a tiny footprint. The AXG Legion proves you can still do that and have a gun that feels civilized during long-range sessions instead of punishing. The big change is the aluminum AXG grip module and Legion treatment. That extra weight in the frame settles the gun down and soaks up some of the snap that made ultralight micros feel a little wild with hotter defensive ammo. Add the integrated comp and optics-ready slide, and you get a package that shoots flatter and tracks better than the size suggests. On the belt, it is still manageable. Thicker and heavier than the smallest P365 variants, sure, but well within the comfort zone for everyday carry with a good holster and belt. This is the pistol for the concealed carrier who already tried the featherweight stuff, hated the recoil, and decided they want a serious training gun that still disappears under a t-shirt. That mindset is exactly what keeps the P365 AXG Legion selling out fast. Cracking into the top 5, the Glock 19 Gen 5 is the one pistol on this list that does not care what year it is. When things feel uncertain, people go right back to buying G19S, and there is a good reason. It has decades of use behind it as a duty gun, a concealed carry piece, and a home defense workhorse. Gen 5 did not reinvent the platform, but it refined it. The finger grooves disappeared. The barrel got a small accuracy bump. The finish holds up better to sweat and weather, and the controls are a bit friendlier to left-handed shooters. None of that sounds dramatic, yet together it makes daily carry and regular practice smoother for a huge number of people on the range. Recoil is predictable and easy to manage. The trigger is consistent, and the gun runs. Parts, magazines, holsters, and upgrades are everywhere. That ecosystem is a big part of the appeal. For many newer gun owners who want one do-it-all pistol and do not have time to research every model on the wall, the Glock 19 Gen 5 is the safe and proven choice that rarely sits in the case long. At number 4, the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield Plus Carry Comp is the value king of this list. S&W took an already popular double-stack micro, gave it a flat-face trigger, added a comped barrel and slide setup, and then priced it where a lot of competitors cannot follow. For budget-conscious shooters, that combination is hard to ignore. In the hand, the grip angle and texture feel natural to people who never clicked with Glock geometry. The new trigger breaks cleaner than the old hinge style and resets with a positive snap. The carry comp porting vents gas upward and forward, shaving a bit of muzzle flip off hotter 9mm loads and making the gun feel more controllable than its footprint suggests. For everyday carry, the Shield Plus carry comp hides well inside the waistband easily, rides comfortably, and still gives you real capacity in those double-stack magazines. Optics-ready variants let you bolt on a micro red dot without extra milling. When buyers realize they can get a compensated, optics-ready, name-brand carry gun at this price point, they move quickly. That is why gun shops often cannot keep this model on the shelf. Number 3 belongs to the Springfield Armory, Hellcat Pro and Hellcat Pro Comp, two pistols that live in the sweet spot between tiny micro and chunky compact. These guns exist because a lot of shooters liked the original Hellcat idea, but wanted more grip, more slide, and less snap with real defensive ammo. The Pro Stretch gives you a longer sight radius, a barrel that wrings a bit more performance out of 9mm, and a grip that finally lets most hands get all their fingers on board. Springfield's adaptive grip texture is soft when you hold the gun, but it really bites in when you clamp down and start shooting quickly. The optics-ready slide and short accessory rail mean you can set it up like a serious daily carry and home defense tool. The Hellcat Pro Comp adds porting to flatten the gun even further, which matters for smaller shooters or anyone planning to train hard with hotter loads. For people who bounced off the smallest micros but still want something thinner than a full size, these Pro models are a very attractive compromise. That middle ground role is exactly what keeps them on so many sold-out lists. Runner-up at number 2, the Glock 43 XMOS is the slimline workhorse that quietly took over a big slice of the concealed carry world. Hang around any busy range long enough, and you will see a lot of these riding in quality inside the waistband holsters. It is not flashy, but it hits a ton of practical checkboxes. The formula is simple: short slide for comfort and concealment, taller grip for a full hand purchase, and a 10-round magazine that can jump to 15 with popular aftermarket options. It shoots softer than a tiny single stack and gives new shooters a lot more control over recoil and muzzle movement. The MOS cut lets you bolt on a proven slim optic and get into the dot game without diving into a bigger pistol, because it is a Glock. Everything around it is easy mode. Holsters, spare mags, sight options, and upgrade parts are everywhere. For people downsizing from a Glock 19 or similar compact, the 43 XMOS feels like a natural next step that saves weight and thickness without killing confidence. That blend of familiarity, shootability, and capacity is exactly why shops consistently have trouble keeping it in stock. Taking the crown at number 1 is the Sig Sauer P365 XMacro Comp, the pistol that explains why certain shelves are bare. It takes the tiny P365 concept, stretches it into a macro-sized frame with room for your whole hand, adds an integrated comp, and gives you duty-level capacity in a slim profile. The longer grip and extra weight give you leverage and stability that true micros cannot match. The compensator knocks down muzzle rise, the slide tracks flat, and the gun stays on target when you run fast pairs or short strings, with an optics-ready slide and a rail that accepts serious lights. You can build it out like a service pistol that still disappears under a t-shirt. For many concealed carriers, this becomes the one handgun that covers every job. It rides inside the waistband during the day and stands guard on the nightstand with a light and a dot after dark. Instead of buying separate pistols for carry, home defense, and training, they buy one P365 XMacro Comp and trust it everywhere. That all-in-one roll is exactly why you so often see the label on the shelf and no pistol behind it. Alright, that's the list, y'all. If your local gun counter looks empty, now you know which pistols are soaking up all the demand and why. Drop your carry choice in the comments. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you back out on the range again in the next one.